Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Devin Haney has people out here taking it to the stupid, and nobody wants to hold their horses, man. We understand what Devin Haney did this past weekend was nothing short of amazing. But to come now and say, I'm pulling something up, right? To come now and say that Devin Haney is going to beat Terence Crawford. And then Devin Haney's going to go on to fight Canelo Alvarez and beat Canelo Alvarez. Boxing fans, you've got to put down the bowl of dumbass and pick up a bowl of intelligence because you're taking it to the stupid. Now, let's just understand something. Devin Haney, in my opinion, he's got work to do at 140. Okay? And for him to try to clear out the 140-pound division is not going to be easy. Okay? Very simple. It is not going to be easy for him to clear out 140. They have some killers down there at 140. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about when I talk about the 140-pound division, well, let me just tell you. You got Teofimo Lopez, not an easy fight for Haney. You got Ramirez, not an easy fight for Haney. Subra Matias, not an easy fight for Haney. Hitchens, which no one wants to talk about, who's a problem for everybody, not an easy fight for Haney. Catterall, Barbosa Jr., Antoine Russell, Sandor Martin, Sims Jr., right? Those are not easy fights for Haney. So to just come now and take Haney's performance against Regis Prograis, who was about 3 inches shorter, who had a 6 to 7 inch reach deficit, right? To come now and say that Devin Haney, the way he performed against Regis Prograis, that Devin Haney could forget about everyone at 140 and just bubble up to 147 and beat Terence Crawford. I mean, come on now. Now, I will say, the best fighter doesn't win a fight. It's the fighter who boxes the best on that night. Okay? I'm not going to change what I say. No, I'm going to remain consistent. However, we got to, apply a little common sense, right? Apply a little logic here. Devin Haney and Terence Crawford. I just don't see it. Okay, so let me point something out to y'all here real quick. When you look at Devin Haney, he's 5'8", Terence Crawford is about 5'8" or so, right? Haney's reach is 71 inches, Terence Crawford's reach is 72, 73 inches. They're pretty evenly matched as far as their size. But the difference is Terence Crawford, his ability to knock people out, to switch hit. He goes in that phone booth, comes out of southpaw man, and does the business. And I'm just not so sure Haney is going to be able to get away without jabbing Terence Crawford. I'm not so sure he's going to be able to get away with pulling those check hooks on Terence Crawford. I'm not so sure he's going to be able to get away with setting traps against Terence Crawford. You see, Terence Crawford, he doesn't have flat feet. Devin Haney has an educated jab and educated feet. But so does Terence Crawford. What you have here, in my opinion, is a good little man who's going to be bubbling up to try to beat a good big man. And the good big man always beats the good little man. And I understand when, some of these people who are out here posting stuff say, hey, well, look, Crawford started off at 135 pounds. Haney was at 135. He's at 140. He can go to 147. So basically, Haney's doing what Crawford did, but Haney's trying to call out the big names. And the thing is, Haney can get the big names where Crawford wasn't able to get the big names. And I understand the argument. But still, I got to come back full circle and say a good big man will always beat the smaller man. And also, when somebody's talking about the age of Crawford, Crawford doesn't seem to be slowing down. In addition to that, Crawford's going snack strong. Devin Haney's going snack strong. So I really think Haney should be careful of what he's asking for and what his fans should be careful of what they're demanding out of Devin Haney as far as him trying to pull Terence Crawford's card and say, hey, why don't you and I get in the ring? Now, the other thing I'm going to point out here is when we talk about, what's his name? Canelo Alvarez. I just think that is just one of those fights that Devin Haney and his team need to stay away from. Now, Devin Haney's 5'8", Canelo's 5'8". Reach is about the same. But Canelo at 168. How are we all of a sudden talking about taking Devin Haney and putting him up against a guy like Canelo Alvarez, 60 wins, 39 by KO, 2 losses, and someone who's fought champion after champion after champion and who's scaled all the weight divisions? So all of a sudden, Devin Haney's ready to graduate from Regis Prograis to Terence Crawford to Canelo. Now, I understand Devin Haney. I heard what he said, right? It's what he said, not my words. He wants the biggest money possible. That means Devin Haney really is seriously considering going at a Terence Crawford, going at maybe Earl Spence, going at a Jamel Charlo, going at a Canelo, going wherever he has to go to make the most money. But my thing is, if you want to make the most money, find somebody that's more in your league, that 140-pound division. Maybe a Keith Thurman, right? Because Keith Thurman has a name. But if you want to get the most bang for your buck, you and Eddie Hearn pick a big name from 140 to 147, not Terence Crawford or Boot Simmons. Line that fight up for Saudi Arabia. You got to get the Saudis to be interested. They're interested in Devin. They may not be interested in his opponent. Get the Saudis to buy off on it. Then you take a fight over there to Saudi where you can make huge money and be in a contest to where you really have a chance to win. I'm telling you right now, I don't care what anyone says. I don't think Devin Haney beats Terence Crawford. I don't think he beats Boot Simmons. But when you look at it, they're all, pretty close in height, pretty close in length. I just think the difference for me is just the power and skill-wise, they're all pretty evenly matched. Some guys do things a little better than the others, but I just think when you talk about Devin Haney fighting any of those guys, I think it boils down to a good big man always beats a good little man, and that's what I believe. But damn, Devin Haney, if you let the fans tell it, and if you let Devin Haney and his dad tell you about what they're looking to do, Devin Haney will come out here and ruin everyone's plans, because isn't Terence Crawford out here looking for the biggest money possible? Earl Spence looking for the biggest money possible. Canelo Alvarez looking for the biggest money possible. Everybody right now is looking for the biggest money possible. You know why? Because guys are entering the end of their boxing careers. The last few years, they want big fights. Do they want to win? Yes. But what's more important to them? Winning a fight or making $40 million? He's making $40 million. And if Devin Haney could get in and throw aside another 100, throw aside $100 million, $200 million across 4 or 5 more fights, why not do it and retire early? So what I see happening, and what's going to be the problem here, unless they can go and get themselves out there, fighting out there in the sandbox, the fight purses, it's going to become a problem again. Like right now, we're getting a pretty good run. We're getting some fights we want to see. We're being entertained. Boxing fans are pretty happy. But going into next year, I truly believe, because we're seeing a turnover right now, right? You're going to see these guys who are about to retire, the big names in boxing, they're going to want huge money. And if they can't get it, you're not going to get the fights you want. And they're going to be sitting there inactive, and they may end up going into retirement, not making the kind of money they were hoping for, because they just don't want to budge in negotiations. But anyway, Devin Haney still has legs. What I mean by that is he's young. So that means that he still has many years ahead of him if he chooses to become slightly inactive to make the biggest fights. Terence Crawford doesn't have legs. He only has a couple fights left and he's out. Earl Spence doesn't have legs. A few fights left, if that. He should retire now. But if that, and he's out. You understand? That being said, we'll see what Devin Haney and his team do. But this thing about him crafting a plan of action to go and clip Terence Crawford at 147 and 154, and then to go and clip Canelo. To that, I got to say, in the most respectful way, that I kindly request for the boxing fans and for Devin Haney and his team to hold your horses and stop taking it to the stupid. Let that man do his business at 140. Devin, do your business at 140. Quit worrying about jumping up to 147. What are you trying to prove? As far as your legacy, that shit is cemented already. Make your money. Keith Thurman, maybe not so bad of a fight. These other guys at 147, but even Keith Thurman, leave him alone. Just leave him alone. Do the business at 140. There's a lot to do down there. Some big money fights down there. You got Eddie Hearn. Go to the sandbox. Make your fights. Make your money. But don't go out here now trying to, when you're climbing up a ladder, you take your time, right? You don't go and start here at the bottom and then, reach up, 4, 5, 6 lengths and think you're just going to keep doing that and get to the top. No, you will probably fall off that goddamn ladder. And I think that's what's going to happen to Devin Haney if he keeps doing that. You're skipping those damn steps on the ladder. You're probably going to get knocked off. And he needs to be careful just trying to jump up to 147 and just fight killers up there. Like, that's not how this works. I'm not saying he can't do it, but I'm telling you it's more of a chance of him not doing it. So I risk that and risk all the big money that you're chasing. Because if he loses, that affects his marketability. The O does matter. Although it kind of sucks to say that, it does matter. In this day and age, it matters. And Devin Haney has to be very careful in what he's doing, the way he and his dad and team have been with his whole career. That being said, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans on 7 continents. In the breeze.